Hey guys, welcome back. This is actually filmed on the iPhone 12 Pro Max. However, I do think there's still screen glare. I know I have to learn how to just, record from the screen itself, but bear with me. So this is actually an update from the PSA, if anyone is wondering. So what the PSA has now done is complete through dates, and to explain that is what we have down here is the date that you sent it in and what the service was. So for example, if you did walkthrough and it's been since 9th March that you've brought it in or later, then they're expected to have that date complete. Any of those services, any walkthrough services complete that have already been that date or later. Granted, I don't think there's really any issues with the Express and up. I've done the Express and Super Express for the Shadowless Blastoise and Shadowless Charizard, and those came back in like their general time frame of expectation. The ones that we're seeing issues with, of course, is the economy and below, probably even the regular and below. And so, we sent cards back that they've actually had, I think we either sent them in August or they got there in August. We'll check in a second. But essentially, that was our first send-in of the first 15 cards for testing out services, and they should fall under the economy level, I believe. Now, their complete through date hasn't come up yet. This is updated daily by the PSA. However, we are getting close. No, that's right. So we sent them in August, and they weren't processed until September. So we have to wait till this will say like 9 September, and then we're supposed to expect that service to be complete finally, and then it be sent to us. So that's how this works. So if you sent stuff in, let's say economy, like us, if you sent stuff in via economy and the date it was processed, not arrived but processed, if it was 17th August, then you should expect to see them finally coming back soon. 17th August 2020, by the way. So yeah, they're definitely really far behind. I totally understand they've had a gigantic buildup of orders. But I do want to explain, this is at least somewhat good news, and I'm glad I'm finally getting an update from the PSA. Granted, technically they did this to update everyone at once. Hey, we've changed the way we're doing things. We're doing complete through dates right now, so everyone has an actual accurate, this still isn't 100%, I know it's not, but this is them presenting like an actual accurate picture, more accurate picture than their normal way of doing things. And so let me just explain though, why this happened. So Pokemon, of course, had a major blow up come due to COVID, and also it just having a build up via YouTube. With that build up via YouTube, you have these people who have a lot of money, the high-end YouTubers who have a lot of money, who are paying, they're buying high-end cards, and they're paying for these faster services. And because there was this extreme overgrowth in these faster services, it pushed all of these down to a much longer wait time. The reason why I still to me this still isn't good PR in a sense from PSA. I've actually messaged them multiple times. They pretty much just ignore me. The way you have to view this is let's say you called ahead, and you called ahead to a restaurant, and you're like, hey, I want to get a reservation. Is that fine? And they're like, oh yeah, sure. You just need to reserve 45 minutes out and you'll be good to go. Oh, hey, that's fine. Yeah, I don't plan on being there till exactly that time, so I'll have a reservation for my party of 6 at 7:45 p.m. They go, yep, you're checked in. We'll see you at 7:45 p.m., sir or ma'am. And you show up and you're like, hey, I'm here. And you're there at 7:45 p.m. and they're like, oh, cool. It's just going to be another 10 days till we can sit you. And you're like, 10 days? We had an agreed upon thing that I was going to, me and my party of 6, now really hungry people at 7:45 p.m. We came with an appetite on purpose. You're telling us we can't eat here till 10 more days from now? Well, yeah, give or take, and they don't want to tell you the reason why. Obviously, like 10 days, basically is a slap in the face, and the reason why is because a whole bunch of rich people showed up and said, "Hey, I want to pay for all of these tables for the next 10 days," even though this was already an agreed upon contract, and then all of these guys came in and basically bought the place out, and instead of there being like a negotiation of, yeah, sure, we understand this and we'll get to this, and finishing up their original contracts, they just straight told the current contracts, yeah, sorry, like we're not going to meet that contract because even though that's a contractual thing, granted we're allowed to be off by a couple of days here and there for such a service that's provided here, which a couple of days off in the card grading service is very similar to like you show up and your table's not ready till 7:50 p.m. An extra 5 minutes. But when it comes to this, it's apparently extra months. So, which is unexcusable versus the if it was late by a couple of days or even a week, business days wise. And so like here we come to our orders, and so for example, like once again, like arrived and then entered. So sadly, this isn't the entered date. Otherwise, they would be late on their clear through processing date. However, I have a feeling they'll still be late, since they've had this order since August 2020, 04, and this was supposed to be a 40 business day turnaround, which is like 2 months and 1 week in business days terms. So yeah, they're about, doesn't that make them, they're coming up to what, being a year late? Yeah, they're coming up to being about like several months late. So, and these were the Express and Super Express services you can see over here. So this was the Blastoise and this was the Shadowless Charizard. And then to include, we sent in an extra 20 cards. Once again, arrived November 19th, entered February 5th. It took them November, December, January, and the first week of February to finally enter those 20 cards. And then this was our video where we sent in over $18,000 worth of Pokemon cards. It's 100 cards, so you can see how that adds up quick when you're talking about PSA Pokemon cards. They haven't entered it yet, which definitely gets me worried. It is now the 14th of March. So if we can see the same timeline, I guess we'll see it entered like March 2025, something like that. So we'll probably get these 18 grand's worth of cards, maybe when the hobby hype has died and they're worth maybe $1,000. But no, seriously, PSA, like, pick your shit up. Thanks. Bye.